Hi guys and welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about the one and only goddess and amazing woman, Monica Bellucci, also known as Monica Anna Maria Bellucci, born on 30th of September 1964, an Italian actress and model. She began her career as a fashion model modeling for Dolce & Gabbana and Dior, before making a transition to Italian films and later American and French films. She was born in Città di Castello, Umbria, in Italy. Her film debut in Francesco allowed the Dewey's Italian comedy La Rifa in 1991. The following year, she played a Bride of Dracula in Francis Ford Coppola's gothic horror romance film Bram Stoker's Dracula in 1992. For her leading role in The Apartment in 1996, Bellucci received a nomination at the 1997 Caesar Award for Most Promising Actress. She played Malena Scurdia in the Giuseppe Tornatore's acclaimed Italian romantic drama Malena in the 2000s. Bellucci starred in Gaspar Noé's controversial art house psychological thriller film Irreversible in 2002, which premiered at the Cannes Film Festival. In 2004, she portrayed Mary Magdalena in Mel Gibson's biblical drama The Passion of the Christ in 2004. Bellucci portrayed Persephone in the 2003 science fiction film The Matrix Reloaded and The Matrix Revolution. At the age of 50, by appearing in the 2050 James Bond film Spectre, she became the oldest Bond girl in the history of the franchise. Bellucci has since acted in films such as The Whistleblower from 2010, The Wonders 2040, On the Milky Road 2016, The Best Years of a Life 2019, The Man Who Sold His Skin in 2012, and The Memory in 2020. Among her accolades are 2 Global Toro Awards, 2 Nastro d'Argento Awards, a Donostia Award and a David Special Award. Bellucci received the Knight Insignia of the Legion of Honor in 2016. She is permanent member of the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences as well. Bellucci was born on 30th of September 1964 in Città di Castello, Umbria, the only child of Brunello Briganti and Pascal Bellucci, and grew up in Lama, now Celsi Lama, in the commune of San Giustino. Monica Bellucci began modeling at the age of 13 by posing for a local photo enthusiast. In 1988, Bellucci left the Faculty of Law at the University of Perugia and moved to one of Europe's fashion centers, Milan, where she signed with Elite Model Management with the aid of model agent Piero Piazzi. By 1989, she was becoming prominent as a fashion model in Paris and across the Atlantic in New York City. She posed for Dolce & Gabbana and French Elle, among others. In that year, Bellucci made the transition to acting and began taking acting classes. The February 2001 Esquire's Future on Desire featured Bellucci on the cover and an article on the 5 senses. In 2003, she was featured in Maxim Men's Health, also named her one of the 100 hottest women of all time, ranking her at number 21. Ask Men named her the number 1 most desirable woman in 2002, and according to 2 national newspapers, she is considered an Italian sex symbol. In 2004, while pregnant with her daughter Deva, Bellucci posed nude for the Italian Vanity Fair in protest against an Italian law that restricts the provision of fertility treatment to heterosexual couples and excludes single women or same-sex couples, restricts surrogacy and research using human embryos, forbids sperm and egg donations, and limits the number of embryos created with in vitro techniques to 3. She posed pregnant and semi-nude again for the magazine's April 2010 issue. From 2006 to 2010, Bellucci was the face of a range of Dior products. In 2012, she became the new face of Dolce & Gabbana. She is managed by Elite Plus in New York City. She is also signed to the Management Group in Milan and also to Storm Management in London. Bellucci also posed for GQ Italia in February 2016. She has walked the runway for the Spring 2019 Milan Fashion Week for Dolce & Gabbana. Joining her included Isabella Rossellini, Eva Herzigova and Helena Christensen, continuing the influx of the 90s supermodels returning to the spotlight of fashion. Bellucci's film career began in the early 90s. She played some minor roles in Larifa in 91 and Bram Stoker's Dracula in 92. In 97, she was nominated for a Caesar Award for Most Promising Actress for her portrayal of Lisa in The Apartment and strengthened her position as an actress. She became known and popular with worldwide audiences following her roles in Malena, Brotherhood of the Wolf, and Irreversible. She has since played in many films from Europe and Hollywood, like Tears of the Sun, The Matrix Reloaded, The Passion of the Christ, The Brothers Grimm, Les Dexium Soufflé, Shoot 'Em Up, Don't Look Back, and The Sorcerer's Apprentice. She also voiced Kailina in the video game Prince of Persia Warrior Within and the French voice of Cappy for the French version of the 2005 animated film Robots. She was supposed to be seen portraying Indian politician Sonia Gandhi in the biopic Sonia, initially planned for release in 2007, but it has been shelved. Bellucci dubbed her own voice for the French and Italian releases of the film Shoot 'Em Up in 2007, saying it was a frequent practice to do each film 3 times. In 2011, Bellucci was ranked 4th in Los Angeles Times Magazine's list of the 50 most beautiful women in film. At the age of 50, she became the oldest Bond girl ever in the James Bond film franchise, playing Lucia Sciarra in Spectre 2015. In 2017, Bellucci was invited by the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences to be a permanent member representing Italy, becoming one of the voting juries responsible for awarding the annual Academy Awards Oscars. That same year, she received a Donostia Award, an honorary award recognizing her entire career. She later appeared in the Australian film Necrotronic. In 2021, she received a David Special Award to recognize her career achievement at the 66th David di Donatello ceremony. At the age of 20, Bellucci married Italian photographer Claudio Carlos Basso. They divorced after 6 months. From 1989 to 1995, she had a relationship with Italian actor Nicola Ferron. She met French actor Vincent Cassel on the set of their 1996 film The Apartment. They married on 2nd August 1999 in Monaco. Bellucci and Cassel have 2 daughters, Deva Cassel, born on 12th of September 2004, and Leonie, born on 21st of May 2010. Their daughters were born in Rome. Bellucci and Cassel acted together in 9 films from 1996 to 2006. The couple announced their separation on 26th of August 2013 and later divorced. At the end of 2014, Bellucci said she was still enamored of Cassel. Both have remained close ever since. After her divorce, Bellucci was in a relationship with French sculptor and former model Nicolas Lefebvre, who was then 37 years old. They made it official in early March 2019 during a Chanel show at the Grand Palais in Paris. She announced the end of their relationship in early July 2019. Bellucci lived with Cassel and their daughters in Italy, France, Brazil and England. Then, in 2015, she decided to settle in Paris. Bellucci says, "Paris is part of my history. but she nevertheless considers herself completely Italian. Everything in me is Italian. She has houses in Lisbon and Rome. During the coronavirus lockdowns, Bellucci and Casero lived in two nearby houses on the Basque coast so that the latter could see his daughters and thus continue to share parental duties. Bellucci is fluent in Italian, French, and English. Deva became Dolce & Gabbana's muse at the age of 15 and later their runway model. Her daughter's native language is Italian. Deva spoke 5 languages at the age of 16. In the documentary movie The Big Question about the film The Passion of the Christ, Bellucci stated, I am an agnostic, even though I respect and am interested in all religions. If there is something I believe in, it's a mysterious energy. The one that fills the oceans during tides, the one that unites nature and beings. In 2009, Bellucci signed a petition in support of director Roman Polanski, who had been detained while traveling to a film festival in relation to his 1977 sexual abuse charges, which the petition argued would undermine the tradition of film festivals as a place for works to be shown freely and safely, and that arresting filmmakers traveling to neutral countries could open the door for actions of which no one can show and know the effects. Few women have the title of a siren, in my opinion. Only a handful make the cut these days. It not only requires an artistic flair that makes them seem both crazy and magnificent in equal parts, but also an otherworldly, almost Elysian quality. If there ever were more than 3 or 4 of these Empyrean femme fatales, Monica Bellucci would be chairwoman of the board. As writers, we spent months chasing up interview requests and ultimately pursuing the proverbial white whales. Monica Bellucci is the review's first female front cover, and what a cover! Spanning a career that arguably began in the late 80s when she signed with Elite Model Management, Bellucci has had an inviolable métier. She originally studied law at the University of Perugia. As is often the case after her career took off, she quit her studies and moved to Milan. She quickly made the switch to trading the boards, and her career to date has included such critically acclaimed films as The Apartment, alongside Hollywood box office hits, including Bram Stoker's Dracula and The Matrix Reloaded. I'm very lucky I have had the chance to work with so many directors, she admits. That's the richness of my work. Last year we interviewed Domenico Dolce and Stefano Gabbana. You encapsulated the brand ethos perfectly. Why do you think that is? I work and have been friends with Domenico and Stefano for many years. In 1989, they saw me just as a young Italian model. Years have passed, but they still invite me to participate in promotions and be a face of the brand. It's very touching of them. The meaning of beauty there is not necessarily young. It's really a faithful Italian story of love and friendship. When we do shoots, it's not work, it's having fun with friends, creating beautiful and timeless pictures together. We have the same idea of beauty, probably because of where we are all from. If I was raised in France and conformed to their sense of beauty, then I might say Brigitte Bardot epitomizes beauty, but I'm Italian and I grew up with actresses like Sophia Loren, so they are my continuing idol of beauty. Why do you think Italian culture is so closely linked with beauty and, of course, high fashion? My home is Perugia. My home, yeah, is Perugia, and it's a vacuum when it comes to style. So I didn't start to appreciate fashion until I moved away when I was older. Italian women have gossamer and femininity that is very strong. All of the world's big fashion brands have offices in Milan, and the women there are hugely into their fashion, although the style is much more reserved, traditional, and elegant than Rome. Your career is impressive. Have there been any serious obstacles to your success over the years? I think, like anyone trying to make it, the hardest part was the beginning. It has taken over 20 years, and in that time, I have started to work in the fashion business after working in movies. The transition from one to the other demanded patience, strength, and awareness. It's all about appearance, depth of character, and you must be able to play hard too. You're considered by many men and women to be a true siren. Who do you find more complicated, the female or male of the species? Oh, that's a really difficult question. I cannot say for certain. I know only one side of the coin, so can only speak as the siren. I suppose sometimes the world does not want to see strong women because by our nature we're considered the weaker gender. Whatever the case, I'm glad to be the woman. Do you think you would have been as successful as male? I would have used my skills to the best of my ability, siren or a red-blooded male. Speaking of red-blooded men, I remember watching your ex-husband Vincent Cassel in Ocean's 13 and muttering the coolest sounding vitriolic swearing I have ever heard, Les Petits Fils de pute. He will always be one of the most dashing men I know. Marriage, we never know how long it will last. I never got involved in the choice of his papers nor in mine. We are very independent. We lived in different worlds. His friends were our friends. Mine are different. There is a generally accepted comedic concept in England towards the French and Italians, which regards to mistresses and lovers. Do you think this is a fair stereotype? Each culture has its own relationship principles. I have friends that adore the attention they receive when they come to Italy, and conversely, Italian friends that think all the men in London are gay because of the lack of attention. In Italy, we flirt and we charm all the time. It's nothing more than a look or a gesture, but then nothing happens afterwards. So, no, I don't think we have a predisposition towards infidelity, but merely have a penchant for amorous behavior. So, that said, what does being Italian mean to you personally? I have a strong sense of self and national pride. I travel around the globe, but I'm still Italian at heart. I think that I embody the place I come from, family, friends, food. These things are all intricate to our culture. I seem to keep my family traditions going like breathing. It's part of who I am. What are you working on at the minute? I've been working for a while with this Serbian filmmaker Emir Kusturica. It's a project called Love and War, and it's dedicated to a man who survived war and became a monk. It's my first time in Serbia, and I have never been to such a magical, mysterious place. The scenery is breathtaking. What a spirit! I've actually been living at the home of Emir Kusturica. I'm considering learning Serbian as well. Is it culture shock working in Europe as opposed to the big studios in the US? America is the land that gave birth to the modern studio system. In Italy, we have cinema, talented directors and producers, but not in the same way as America. To get a project off the ground, you need money. We don't have enough money in the arts, films, ballet, opera. These things all need investment. Obviously, I left Italy to pursue a global career, and I'm pleased that I did, otherwise, I would not have known this success. But Italy will always be my first love. In another article for The Guardian, Monica Bellucci shared her thoughts. If your work is just about beauty, you won't last 5 minutes. Monica Bellucci has been asked about her beauty for close on 4 decades. The Italian-born actor who started out as a model and holds the somewhat ambiguous distinction of becoming the oldest Bond girl has caused many male journalists to overheat. In 2004, one interviewer called her a distillation of every Italian perfection, dwelling on the way she brushes her cappuccino foam from her lips with the long, unpainted nails of her perfect fingers. Sitting opposite me in a quiet corner of a hotel bar in Paris, Bellucci appears to drink her coffee like a regular person and sweetly worries when I don't order any. When I ask her about these breathless accounts, she pauses before saying, "It's funny, it's just a fantasy that keeps going for no reason because nobody believes it. I don't believe it. The other person doesn't either. Does she even read them? No, it can be very boring," she says drily. Unusually, Bellucci, whose career spans Italian and French art house films in addition to blockbusters such as The Matrix, sequels, and Mel Gibson's The Passion of the Christ, isn't here to talk about a film. Instead, she has recently added a new string to her bow, making her stage debut in Maria Callas' Letters and Memoirs, directed by Tom Wolfe. After opening in Paris, it toured to Italy, Greece, and Turkey. Bellucci was due to perform it at Her Majesty's Theatre in London in December, but Omicron struck. It has now been rescheduled for April. The show is based on Woolf's 2019 book of the same name, which featured 350 of Callas' letters alongside her unfinished memoirs. Such was her desire to perform the great soprano's writings. Bellucci overcame a lifetime of stage fright. Over the years, she has said no to numerous offers to appear in plays. "I wouldn't have dreamed of it," she says. When I ask how she felt in the run-up to the 2020 premiere, she lets out a staccato laugh. "Bad, you have all those people in front of you and you have to deal with all these energies. Even now, I'm always scared." Wolf was introduced to Bellucci by a friend. He explained by phone and visited her at home in Paris to convince her to take the role. A photographer and filmmaker, he has made a career as something of a Callas diehard since 2013. Alongside 3 books about the singer, he directed the 2017 documentary Maria by Callas, which told the opera star's story in her own words. "You know how love at first sight happens," Wolf says. Of hearing Bellucci read Callas' letters for the first time, it felt like she immediately got a sense of her emotion and state of mind. There was a window, letting daylight shine on Monica's face, and I could see some of Callas in there. Maria Callas' Letters and Memoirs covers both influential opera singer's passion for her work and her troubled personal life, including her long love affair with the shipping magnate Aristotle Onassis, who ostensibly left her to marry Jackie Kennedy. The show also delves into her lonely final years. "You feel that in the end, all she has is the music," Bellucci says. "All the rest is gone." Ultimately, the key to Bellucci overcoming her stage anxiety came from Callas' wardrobe, a 1960s black Yves Saint Laurent dress borrowed from a Milan collection. "Did it have to be adjusted? No, it was perfect," Bellucci says, her voice sinking to a whisper. She is considering having a replica made to avoid damaging it, but resisted such an idea for a long time for one simple reason: "I was scared to perform without that dress." Depending on the location, Bellucci delivers the show in French, Italian, or English, a feat she shrugs off, pointing out that Callas spoke all 3 languages too, and had an accent whenever she was speaking. Bellucci often dubs her own scenes so that Italian and French viewers will still hear her voice in English language films. When you want to express something, if you are into it, it just comes naturally. Callas isn't the only adopted Italian Bellucci is currently playing. She donned a blonde wig for Antonio Panisi, the girl in the fountain, shown in the autumn at the Torino Film Festival. The title refers to Anita Ekberg's famous scene in Fellini's La Dolce Vita. Bellucci plays an actor tasked with portraying Swedish-born Ekberg. She stayed in Rome, but she should have left, Bellucci says of Ekberg's life post-Dolce Vita. Everything looked so beautiful and dreamy, but in reality, life in Rome destroyed her. Ekberg met, she adds, the wrong man, presumably a reference to the actor Anthony Steele, whom Ekberg married and later described as terribly jealous. The funny thing is there is a picture of Callas at the premiere of La Dolce Vita, Bellucci says. Ekberg and Callas had a lot in common, she thinks. They're both women who tried to be free at a time when it was so difficult. They were independent through their work, but still prisoners through their heart. Bellucci, who was born in Umbria and briefly studied law, rarely speaks publicly about her own starry marriage with the French actor Vincent Cassel, which lasted from 1999 to 2013. The apartment and worked on several projects together, most notably Gaspar's Noise, Uber Violent Irreversible. When she mentions Callas' ability to live life with strong emotions, I ask if she relates to this passion. Not like that, she says with a laugh. I have 2 kids, I have slowed down. Although her turn as Persephone in the Matrix sequels, Steamy Kiss with Keanu Reeves included, helped to establish her reputation in Hollywood in the early 2000s. Bellucci says she is glad she stayed in Europe. The concept of VIP is different in America. In Europe, even in London, actors live more normally. I take my kids to school, I go and buy things at the supermarket. The pandemic brought some family worries when her parents became ill with COVID in 2020. Bellucci was away from Italy, then sheltering with her daughters in Biarritz to remain close to Cassel, who spends part of the year there. The pandemic was the hardest on her elder daughter Deva, now 17, who had just started a modeling career. It's more complicated, says Bellucci, when you are very young and you want to see your friends. Deva was first noticed at the age of 14 while attending a shoot with her mother. They saw her and said, "Oh my god, we would like to do something with her." But she was too young, so we waited a bit. They didn't wait long. That same year, Deva became the face of a Dolce & Gabbana perfume and has gone on to grace catwalks and magazine covers. Her love life is already the subject of much attention in the French press. She has one foot in school and normal life, says Bellucci, and the other in the world of adults. She knows what it means to work. On Instagram, 600,000 followers observe Deva's every move, and Bellucci believes social media have helped her daughter generation bypass gatekeepers. She says it's easier for them than it was for us, because when you have talent, you can show your talent right away. Being the daughter of 2 wildly famous actors may help bring your talent to the fore too. Still, Bellucci remains protective and was glad to find the industry had grown less catty since her days as a full-time model. The young people are not in competition like in the past. They're more responsible, she says. Categories were also more closed. Modeling and acting, they couldn't go together. It's not like that anymore. Bellucci applauds models such as Emily Ratajkowski, who are now speaking more freely about what it was like to be objectified as young women. Bellucci feels she was lucky. I started when I was very young, but at the same time I was going to school. Then when I moved into film, I was already 25 and independent. I got into the world of cinema already protected. She recalls appearing in Harvey Weinstein's produced film The 2000's Malena, in which she played the object of everyone's lust in a small Sicilian town. She only dealt with Giuseppe Tornatore's, the film's Italian director. It was Tornatore who chose me. I think Miramax wanted another actress more famous than me. As so often, Bellucci had the last laugh, pulling off one of her many acclaimed performances. "We're in a world of image," she says, "but the work isn't about beauty. If it's just about beauty, you can't work more than 5 minutes." In another article, Monica Bellucci shares, "I'm not obsessed with my weight. I have always been a curvy woman." Monica Bellucci poses for the new cover of the German magazine Madame in a stunning transparency, proving that femininity has no age. The 58-year-old beauty remains undeniably one of the most glamorous women in the entire world and is adored for her sophistication and beauty by millions. The Italian woman with the incomparable charm spoke to the German magazine about femininity, feminism, as well as the cliches in beauty standards. "Feminism for me means being able to feel comfortable with my femininity," the actress said, among other things. At another point at the interview, she talked about her weight and the relationship she has with her body. "I am not obsessed with my weight. I have always been a curvy woman, never thin, that's my nature, and I want to grow old peacefully. When you are 50 or 60, you don't have the same needs as when you were 20, she said. "The big change comes when you have children. You stop being the center of attention and come second. This gives us another perspective," Bellucci continued. As she made it clear, she is not willing to waste her years following strict and exhausting diets, nor will she depends and spend loads of time in the gym, all just to have a permanent anxiety about her image. Of course, she loves herself to take care of herself, doing Pilates to keep in shape, and just watching her diet for a few days if she feels like she's gone beyond what she considers ideal. The actress confessed that she now sees the passage of time as something that has a positive impact on her life. "There are many different moments in one's life. When you are young, you have the beauty of youth, the beauty of a biological moment in your life, but life goes on," the Italian beauty said. Monica Bellucci is the mother of two daughters, 18-year-old Deva and 12-year-old Leonie, whom she had with her ex-husband Vincent Cassel. Although the couple has been separated since 2013, they maintain a very good relationship for the sake of their children. "We have been separated for many years, but when you are a parent, you are a parent forever. It's beautiful to have a good relationship for our children. We meet whenever we can," said the Italian actress. The Italian actress shared her thoughts about getting older in an interview with the Sunday Times Style magazine, saying she prefers wine, pasta, and the occasional Pilates class to grueling workouts and restrictive diets. "I'm not obsessed. I've always been a curvy woman, never so skinny. That's my nature. And I want to get old in a peaceful way," she says. Another exclusive interview, Monica Bellucci shares that with age she is getting to play new characters. She's much more than just insanely good looks, and she's here with yet another role that her fans have not seen her in before. Italian actress Monica Bellucci stars in Memory, an action thriller headlined by Liam Neeson as she plays Davana Seelman. Davana is a businesswoman and a philanthropist who is neck deep in some of the most disturbing crimes. Speaking to Monica Bellucci exclusively, Monica talks about putting on weight for the film, her character in the film Memory, and enjoying the new phase in her career where she's getting to experiment more than ever. What can you tell us about this multi-layered role that is more grey than she appears? I was excited to play this role. I have not played many where I am the antagonist. There are some aspects of Davana's life where she is a good human being, but there's other times where she is a monster. Playing this duality interested me. For this role I wanted to break the mold in which I have been cast most of my life. I gained some weight, and the lighting and makeup also contributed to the creation of this new type of character for me. As far as the trailer goes, Divana seems consumed with attempting to resist getting older. We see her with a doctor and discussing living to the age of 135. What is your philosophy about getting older? It's a good thing. Age has opened up new opportunities for me to play new characters. Playing the Vanna Seelman in memory was a key to a new door for me to open. Also, for example, I am performing Maria Callas' Letters and Memoirs in the theatre in London. It's interesting because even for a character like Maria Callas, I could not play it when I was younger. To play Maria Callas, you have to have experience to understand a woman like that. She is a diva with so much talent. At the same time, she is a woman with a simple heart. She died because of sadness, really. Why do you think Divana is obsessed with defying age? She discusses with the doctor about living to 135. Would you want to live to 135? She wants to control everything, including time and how she will live. It's impossible to control time, you cannot do that, but she wants control of every aspect of her life. We all know you cannot. As for living to the age of 135, no. Actually, all the people who want control want to live forever, but it's impossible. Money cannot control everything. Another interesting aspect of your character in memory is her relationship with her son. Her son does the most despicable things, but she protects him. As a mother, can you talk about that? Do you understand why your role and your character would protect her son despite her hideous and how hideous he is? I think she is crazy. The son is crazy as well. Protecting him also means protecting herself. In the outside world, everyone thinks she is clean. She knows if the truth comes out, she will be in trouble. So protecting him is also protecting herself. It's not just her son. You have a strong connection with memory filmmaker Martin Campbell. You have both tested success with the James Bond franchise and many others. Describe your equation with him and Liam Neeson in the film. I wanted to do more and I wanted to do the movie because I wanted to work with Martin. I have so much respect for him because he is a director that knows how to entertain an audience when he steps behind the camera. I also wanted to work with Liam. He's an amazing actor and human being. He was so nice and generous to me. We had some wonderful conversations and I respect him so much. Can you tell us about some of the conversation with Liam? What did you find interesting about Liam? He is full of emotions. He is a man who is incredibly deep. We talked about so many things. He is very human. I felt someone so sensitive and delicate, and I like talking to him very much. I think it's beautiful to have a human relationship with people who you work with. I like to work with people who I respect, and I definitely respect Liam. The next movie I'm going to do is with Catherine Hardwicke and Toni Collette. It's called Mafia Mama. It's a comedy and hilarious. I have not done many comedies actually. This one is really great, and I love Catherine's work, and Toni is such a great actress. One of the most dramatic scenes in memory involves your character. It's quite violent. Can you talk about what it was like to shoot it? She deserves what happens in that scene. Monica laughs. She thinks she is untouchable. That scene proves that sometimes something unpredictable can happen and she cannot control everything. She thinks she can, but she cannot. I was a bit scared to do it. On screen, it works very well. It's very effective. How does it feel like returning to work post the pandemic? It's so important to be back. We have to work and do interesting things because right now the world needs poetry, arts, and beautiful things. Monica says to finish off her interview. And thank you guys. I hope you liked this video, and I do hope that you, like me, really respect and acknowledge the beautiful human being that Monica Bellucci is, her life and career. Please leave me a comment down below and share your thoughts on this beautiful actress. Thank you for watching, and please like and subscribe to my channel. Thank you. Bye.